Hi, welcome back. Today is part 2 where we're going to be cutting the strips. The strips that need to be cut are these tan ones of the C3, and I also need to cut out the binding. I am doing, you could, for this, that's what I'm going to be doing, the 5-inch strips, and then the 2.5 is what I'm cutting out of the tan. And then on my instructions, it says right here, 3 1 3/4 by width of fabric strips for binding. Okay, so those are going to be cut out of this. But let's start with the tan. Oh, so here's my tools. Okay, this is probably the most important tool for cutting any kind of cuddle. And as soon as you cut, you zoom up all of the cuddle dust. Some people call it confetti, cuddle dust, fluff, lint, whatever you want to call it. Once you do it once, it doesn't continue to fray. That's the beautiful thing about cuddle. All right, but so first I'm going to move these things out of the way and start with one of my strips. Now I have my cutting mats. I actually have 2 of them put together, so it's long enough for my strip. I don't recommend folding these in half. Cuddle's very slippery. It can be tricky to work with. So I'm lining it up because when you get cuddle, it isn't always perfectly square. And I can see that this piece, I don't know if you probably can't see it in the video, but on this end, the piece is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6 inches wide. And I've lined up this, and down here it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. Okay, so cuddle only needed to give me 5 inches or so, 5.5, because my strips are 2.5 inches wide. So 2.5 and 2.5 is 5. So over here, this is just a little extra. So I start by lining up one edge on one of the straight lines on my cutting thing. Okay, I looked at both sides and I decided this one was straighter. If you can't decide, what I do is I fluff the fabric a little bit, lay it out, just let it lay naturally. And I can see that this side is pretty straight. If I try to get this one to line up, I have to manipulate it a lot, which tells me no. So I line one side up nice and straight. I have my clear ruler. So wait, what? Measure twice, cut once, just like wood shop. Okay, I need 2.5-inch strip. I'm actually going to do an extra 1/8 because when you cut cuddle, you tend to lose a little bit. Okay, so what did I say? I already forgot. Oh, 2.5 plus 1/8, 2 3/8. So here's my 1, 2.5. Line it up. And you can use this where you can see through to line up underneath to make sure it's perfectly square. It's not quite long enough, so luckily I do have a second one. And I can line this up here at the end. 1, 2.5 plus a tiny bit more. The tiny bit more is really just the width of my blade, just a tiny bit more. Just a little bit past 2.5. Okay, count it again. 1, 2.5. 1, 2.5. I am going to use my rotary cutter. Okay, and here we go. Go nice and slowly. Try to push straight down. I used to move your hand as you need to. Hold on. Trying to go nice and slow and push straight down. Try not to push against the ruler because I used to do that. Push against the ruler and then you go crooked. And now you have a problem. Lift up my hand. Notice I'm lifting up my stop rolling. Lift up my hand and move it. Continue to roll. Now before I pull anything apart, I'm going to gently, oh, there's a little piece there still stuck. Sometimes there's little bits. There's a little tiny thread there. A little tiny bit here. I guess I didn't push that hard. Maybe my blade isn't as sharp as it could be. Okay, and then Down here, yeepers. Okay, now there's my strip. Now, since I have 2 of these, whoops, gee whiz. Guess I didn't do a very good job cutting it. You can see, put your blade safety on immediately. Okay. You can see the Cuddle fluff. So these will get sucked right into my vacuum. So what I do with something this tiny is get a good grip on one end. Okay, warning, this is going to be loud. Get a good grip because it'll suck right into your thing. Right along the edge. 1, 2. At least 3 times. Hold on tight. And do it on the other one. Before you even pick it up. There's my 2.5-inch strip. I'm going to set that aside. Now remember, this wasn't perfect, so I'm going to have to trim off a little bit more. I should have one nice square side. Okay. Go to 2.5, which is going to be most of it. Over here. Line it up. Look through your ruler. Line it up with the lines on here so you know it's nice and square. Because if your piece isn't square, you're going to get thrown off. Okay, use your other second ruler or another straight edge down here. Make sure we have 1, 2. Oh, that's only 1/4. 2.5 plus a tiny bit more. Okay, 2. Whoops, that's only a 2.25. 2.5 plus a tiny bit more. Okay, have it all laid out nicely. Now I'm going to, oh dear, make sure, hold on, take your time. I know, sorry if this is taking too long, but if you don't line this up right, I don't think I can manage both at the same time because it's too skinny. Okay. 2.5 and a little bit more. Oh dear. Why is this so gnarly? All right. I think I'm going to draw this one, and I'm going to show you another method of using the, okay, 2.5 is going to be right there. Okay. All right, another method is, so go ahead, let's count twice. 1, 2.5. 2.5, okay. So I'm going to draw a line down with my Sharpie. 2.5 and a little bit more. Oops, line it up with the rest of this. Boy, I'm struggling with this stuff. It's kind of fussy. This is why I do big pieces, but hey, I'm trying it, okay? Now, if you're not sure that it's perfect, you can just go along your little ruler at 2.5 and see. 2.5, and then down here, oh, it's more than 2.5. What happened? No, it's about 2.5. Okay, close enough. So, because this is a little squirrely to do with the ruler, now I can freehand it carefully. Just cut off this little bit. Okay, remember we're pushing straight down. Okay. Follow the line, go nice and slowly. Do not cut your fingers off. See how it's slipping already? It's annoying because it's tiny. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit at a time. I could even, you know what, if this is too much, hold on. Let's just kick it old school, people. You have to make sure you have nice, sharp scissors just for your fabric. And for this little bit, because it's pretty tiny, and because I'm not an expert with my roller, and because some people might not have them, you can use scissors. Oops. Okay, now I got it right on my line. I'm gonna go ahead and throw this away. And hold on, loud noise coming in. Here we go. Okay, so that was, now I have, that's how you cut the binding strips. Okay, so that's about 10 minutes. I'm gonna end it there. It took me that long just to cut this one piece in half. Okay, I still have another one to do. I'm going to do that off camera. Okay, and I'm also probably going to do these off camera. I'll probably cut the binding in by hand. I'm not going to make you watch me. The binding has to be 1 3/4. And this is, it's about 6 inches. Okay, so 1 3/4 and 1 3/4 and 1 3/4 is 5.5, I think, or whatever it is. Close, hold on, it's not exactly. Let me do the math. 1 3/4, 1 3/4, 1 3/4 is almost 6. So they've given you a little bit of extra room because when you cut it, it takes up some of the space. Anyway, this has to be cut into 3 strips. You could just do it equally. If you do 2 inches, you won't have enough. So you have to do 1 3/4 because when you cut, it actually sucks up some of the cuddle. I don't know how to describe it because it's so thick. Okay, so there's a little advice on cutting your strips. Good luck, people. Oh, and I can take them outside and shake them. Okay, so that was part 2, cutting strips.